so struck by the fact that most of the things of the world in which we live are designed in one sense simply to distract us from an understanding of the problem.
Yes, quite. So isn't it really, we have developed a whole network of escapes. And we are caught in those escapes. And those escapes are preventing us from understanding the problems. The problems are there. Whether, India, here, or Russia, anywhere, they're there. But I'm not at all sure if religions, organized religions, dogmas, sects, have not taken us away from the central fact of being able to face these problems. Not translate them, you follow what I mean? Not try to go beyond them, but actually face them and see if we can't dissolve them. And thought creates the past, the present, and the future, which is time. There is time by the clock, chronological time. We're not concerned with that. If you have to keep an appointment, and so on, you must have the chronological time of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But we're talking about the psychological time, which thought has bred. And that time is the product of thought. I have had that pleasure, I am going to have it, and I shall have it. This time quality is created by thought, bred, put together by thought. And thought is time, and it is time that creates fear. And without probing into this time, pleasure, thought, we are always bound by time. And therefore time has never a stop. It's only when there is an end to time that is something totally new.
Not a new consciousness, but a new society.
New society in relation to a mind that has completely undergone a revolution with regard to the psychological structure of society.
Yes. Which would mean a society which is not in time?
No, it has to. All society has to be in time. But the individuals who have freed themselves from this structure, psychological structure, will be freed of time. Therefore, they won't be slave to time, but yet obey the laws of time in society.
It certainly isn't modern man who has invented time, but
the
concept has an awful lot to do with time.
I think it is because he made himself incapable of facing what is the fact. Therefore, he has a concept about the fact inwardly, psychologically, and according to that concept formula, he functions. Therefore, the fact, the formula, and action are contradictory with each other.
Yes.
And therefore, he's in constant battle with himself. So is it possible to act without idea? Idea being organized thought, and therefore formula.
Yes.
It's only the free mind can see the whole. Right?
But he must have some experience of the whole in order to see it.
No. To see the whole thing, you need a very sharp mind, very clear mind. A mind that's not biased. A mind that says, this I like, this I don't like.
Well, you have eliminated the mind that is in a pattern or expects to be led, or it won't ever see the complete truth. But does that necessarily mean that the mind that is free will see the truth?
Look, if you want to see the view of that valley from the hill, you take a survey of the whole thing, don't you? That means your mind is no longer merely fixed on the Thatcher school or a particular school. You look at the whole valley. So here is a whole complex map of life. Business, all the rest of that. Very complex. And to understand the whole of that, you must be free to look. Therefore we say, free the mind from fear. As long as there is fear, that fear will take shelter in a belief. Christian or doesn't matter what belief. Because fear demands comfort, security, hope, and all the rest of it. So, being afraid of something, death or something else, that fear must take shelter in something. Therefore, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, or some other belief, is the same. All beliefs are the same, because they're essentially born out of this fear. So really the question is, can fear be eliminated altogether? It's like inquiring into if there is such thing as God. I put it in quotes. That word God is so heavily loaded that has almost lost all its meaning. If one wants to discover it, if there is or if there is not, how does one proceed? Obviously, to find out, all types of belief must come to an end. And therefore, which means all form of fear must come to an end. Belief is a form of hope. And I have hope because I'm in despair. And I invent a belief, a security, a state of mind which says there is something which is permanent. And I believe in that. And that belief, obviously, not only conditions all examination, all perception, but it prevents the total inaction. You understand?
Sir, what is thinking?
You ask me what is thinking. So my mind begins. Let's go into a little bit. First, I can say, I really don't know. Then we can begin to analyze and say it is response of memory. You ask me, what is my name? And I know because I've repeated so often, I tell you immediately. Now, you ask me a little more complex question. It takes the time interval. In that time interval, the mind is in operation to find the answer. But if you ask me a question, something which I don't know, which nobody knows, which no book or philosophy answered it, then I can honestly say I don't know.